Well, just I guess the first thing is went through a little after Saturday is a relief, probably like most coaches, to get through this regular season. It seems like it's been long and a lot of games, and just to get through it and then to get through it successfully. Really proud of this team to get it's tied a school record with 21 regular season wins, which again ties a school record. And as I've said, here locally, and I've told my players, in my opinion, there is no tie in that. I think, the game has changed so much, and in this day and age, to be able to get 21 wins and against a very difficult non-conference schedule, I think it'd be hard for anybody to argue that this isn't one of the best regular seasons that this program has ever had. So, just really proud of this team for the way they've handled it and gotten through this season, and moving on to the next phase.
Hey, Coach, our first questions come from Jonesboro, Arkansas. Caller, please identify yourself and go ahead.
Hey, Coach, this is Kevin at the Sun. Hey, I wanted to ask you, I guess, about this matchup with Appalachian State. Obviously, this is an opponent you saw twice early in the conference season. Do they look different to you now, maybe than they would have been, or just, I guess, your thoughts on that matchup?
Yeah, I mean, it's actually an interesting matchup from the standpoint of probably the most separation, since we played them home and at their place really early in this season, and it's been almost seems like actually it might have been almost 2 months since we've played them. So, but I still stand by what I said the first time around when we played them here early in the year is I think they're one of the most talented teams in this league. I think scoring wise they have the ability. Like some other teams in this league, they have the ability to just outscore you. They can score at a lot of different positions. They've got a good point guard that's very athletic and quick and can beat you off the dribble. They shoot it well from the perimeter, and they've also got really good depth on their front line. So, this is a very good team that we're going to be up against.
Well, as far as your team's experience, I know last year you guys went to the tournament final. Does it help that you've got kids who have that, that experience, coming back?
Yeah, I would think so. We do have a lot back, and we have a lot back that was, they've got some really good feelings about the way we played down at New Orleans, but they've got one really bad feeling about New Orleans too. And but I'll be anxious to see. I think once this group, especially all these returners, they step foot back in the arena, I think a lot of those feelings will come back. And like I said, we played really well down there last year. Came up short in the championship game, but still think across the board we had 3 really strong performances, and hopefully those good feelings will come back to this group.
I guess you could just reflect a little bit on the season in general that you've had. You mentioned kind of the school record for regular season wins and your RPIs, in the 40s right now. Just what this team has been able to accomplish, and I know you've also had high expectations coming into this year.
Well, we had high expectations, but I also think I think those expectations were maybe a little higher than they should have been when you look back and you're basically replacing your entire front line. And when we started into this deal, into practice and even the preseason, I thought maybe we had oversold ourselves a little bit. I was really concerned about our abilities, but we had, you can't say enough about, what Khadijah Brown-Haywood did for this team. I mean, she really has turned into a terrific player, borderline all-conference player on the front line, and then you say the same for Jasmine Hunt, 2 players that, were in our program the last 2 years, but, didn't get a lot of minutes, and we asked an awful lot of them. We put a lot onto them this year, and because of how well they played, our team was able to have, a great deal of success.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. Our next questions come from Troy Schulte with the Arkansas Democrat Gazette. Please go ahead, Troy.
Hey, Coach. How you doing?
Hi, Troy.
Hey, along the same lines with Jasmine, you've been talking all year about your front line coming together. Has it finally happened for her at least, or have you seen it incrementally, or just where do you think she's gotten to now here with the end of the season?
Well, I think there's still been some ups and downs, I think with her, but man, the ups have sure been up, and the downs haven't been nearly as down as they might have been, But you take Thursday night, a South Alabama game where first half she goes 0 for, I think it was 0 for 5, 0 for 6 in the first half, and then comes out and ends up scoring 20 on the game. Had a really dominant second half, and then Saturday she was just terrific. But we've said with Jazz ever since she got here 4 years ago that she was and she still is as physically gifted as any post player in this league. When you look at size, strength, running, jumping, all of that, hands, it was just a matter for the basketball. The basketball skill part of it to catch up with those natural gifts, and they have, and they did in big fashion this year.
Yeah. What has she improved technically, the most this year, if that's where she needed to shore up? What would be an area you think she's done the best in?
Keeping things simple. It's as much as, her first 3 years, I used to always tell people, I was like, if I was doing a post-workout, a post-clinic, I could sell DVDs on Jasmine Hunt's post moves. Or every post move you can come up with, she can do it and picture perfect. But the problem is she'd get in the game and she would use them all at the wrong times, and she would, she doesn't have a great feel for where defenders are and things like that. So our big thing this year was just keep everything very simple. You basically got one move, drop steps, just very, very simple and power, and she bought into it, and it she's been able to be successful that way.
And lastly, if you guys don't win this tournament, what are your thoughts on a possible at-large? Your RPI's in the top 50. Do you think that's realistic for you guys to think about, or what do you think you guys have to do?
Well, I think it's realistic, but as we all know, there's only one way to assure yourself, and that's win all three. But in the last week, I've seen 3 bracket projections. 2 of the 3 have us in as an at-large. Third one is the ESPN one that has us as one of the, I think, top 8 out or whatever. So, we're in the mix, and they're talking about us, and I'm confident that they will be, on the night of the selection. And but we're still just leaving our fate in somebody else's hands.
Cool. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.